Art's AI Transhumanism and the Way Arts Are Accepted and Processed. Karen Colville. Truly grateful someone is watching over online in a good way. Arts, transhumanism, and AI. Sexual transhumanism is rooted in the broader context of sexual liberation, which advocates for the freedom of individuals to express their sexuality without societal constraints. This movement aligns with transhumanism, a philosophy that seeks to enhance human capabilities through technology. Do they interfere with natural biological development of human intimacy, or does tech enhance it? AI and transhumanism go hand in hand, more like fingers to a glove. AI is upon us so fast, using technology not to alter the lived environment, but to fundamentally alter human nature itself. The goal is to upgrade or enhance human beings. Does it? There are negative impacts to consider. It's not all billionaires' dystopian depopulation dreams of humanity. It presents different types of art and works that have to do with transhumanist ideas or that precede them. Furthermore, it deals with the possibilities brought before human ITY based on the further development of transhumanism in terms of the advantages and dangers that lie ahead of it. In my previous commentary, I touched on how pornified popular culture has become since COVID. Film art anticipated many transhumanist ideas, which later became the subject of consideration, ethical dilemmas, and controversies that humanity encounters. When we speak about transhumanism in the context of art, a very often conceptual artist Stellark cannot go unmentioned. He is one of the few artists who incorporate the idea of transhumanism into almost all of their pieces. He claims that the human body is outdated and needs to be improved, and in that context, he cooperates with engineers and scientists to find ways to improve the human body. Like most people who try to push the boundaries, he is his own guinea pig. Through his performances, where he is usually adorned with various mechanical extensions, he shows what it would be like if a man connected to a machine. Gender transformation is being used with AI. Trans porn is being generated with AI. Human-computer interaction with AI. Millions of people now use generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI, tools in their daily lives for a variety of purposes, including sexual ones. This narrative literature review provides the first scoping overview of current research on generative AI use in the context of sexual health and behaviors. Fueled by advances in artificial intelligence, AI, the adult entertainment industry is undergoing a significant transformation. AI-generated pornography, or AI porn, is reshaping how people create and consume sexually explicit content, progressively offering rapid, mass access to large quantities of interactive and highly customizable experiences. In his WF lecture, Harari explained that in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds such that these will become the main products of the 21st century economy. Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds. Social media. Since cell phones came out, people validate themselves with selfies and social status on social media. Transhumanist art is a term used for the art movement which reflects the time frame of transhumanity, the transitional stage from human to transhuman to posthuman. Transhumanist art questions the role of the artist over the late 20th century, the era of modern art and conventional aesthetics. This is even creepier. I have been in the arts community for over a decade. I rarely ever participate in bar art shows. I have been in one in the past 10 years. Most of the events I participate are public, arts council shows, community-focused, disability-focused, and on occasion family-focused. The disability community has in the past, where they'd get media attention for sex and disability. The media hype fizzles out and is a dud again. More and more couples with disabilities are able to live together, marry, and be recognized with laws. This has been a positive progression, a rather slow one. Inclusivity does not evolve and mesh with exploitation. The most recent transhumanist forms of expression with AI are too much too soon. Sexual transhumanism is rooted in the broader context of sexual liberation, which advocates for the freedom of individuals to express their sexuality without societal constraints. This movement aligns with transhumanism, a philosophy that seeks to enhance human capabilities through technology. I am thankful not to have ever been involved in the adult industry. First of all, there is the stigma. Not everyone is in agreement. I don't really even watch it because of the viruses that can harm your computer. I paid extra to protect my computer when researching on these subjects to get a better understanding. This is where bots and unscrupulous people attach themselves to these industries. There are people trying to make their industries better. There are also adult-themed art shows, which I have not participated in. There are also private art shows that are sex-themed and contain a lot of nude art. I do not see doing sex work or any kind of viable career opportunity. I know there are few at the top and many more people at the bottom, and really it's not worth an extra $200 a month. It comes to that, I'd rather do music or keep doing music. AI is replacing many musicians like it is most everything. I find the transition to become transhuman is very difficult. AI is to enhance human capability. I have been experimenting with AI art, but I'm still on the fence about it. I also do not ever judge anyone for their life and career choices at all, mostly because of the working conditions of women, STD diseases, always having to be checked for diseases. Sleeping with strangers is or seems wrong as part of the job in the sextainment industry. Okay, I just made this word up, maybe it will go viral, and that went out with the closure of clubs like Studio 54. When club people were cooking it up and having promiscuous sex in the 70s, I was a kid. I was aware of what was going on into 80s, and then came AIDS in the 90s where the sexual revolution completely went on hiatus. The bar scene when I was in music was to go to the venue, then get the money out of the owners when the place closed. It was stressful. I was not cut out for the club scene at all. When I visited Hollywood, being considered for an A-list movie, I made my first documentary on relationships interviewing authors. This was a blip on the independent film industry thing. Actors do the grind. When they are out of work, some industry people are doing OnlyFans and are making a good living, otherwise they'd be unemployed. The very big one is human trafficking rings that are international and everywhere in your own city. There are connections to people that would eat you alive. They think there is a buck in it for them, and do not care who they exploit. Not all clubs and venues have this. Today there is nothing wrong with it as it is more widely accepted as mainstream popular culture. In my day the stigma existed and there is little left today, is a preference of culture because there are so many different expressions. Not ever in music. In my decade in this past millennia, it was considered as a last resort, mostly out of desperation. I feel sorry for new immigrants unable to get or have jobs to make ends meet, end up doing adult work in strip clubs. I went to art school in the 90s. I was in music for the next decade, and then I became a painter. I traveled in the USA. I did not stay there long enough to be a part of popular culture. I was always in or at art shows. I did not go to entertainment parties. I was involved in a lot of live events, mostly music-related and professional. I was exposed to a lot. Everything I have done comes from artistic expression in the arts. I have not been in popular culture, where the musician and the men's magazine models would couple up, and this is more American culture. Canadian music artists have posed in men's magazine for the mere fact they are celebrities, American and international celebrities. I do a wide range of subjects within my work. This is something I am not really good at, evoking sexual arousal in my work. There really has not been any kind of need that I know how addictive porn can be, and it can lead to other complications as sex addiction. I felt no need to ever include this in my art. I'd be better off doing comedy if it ever came to that. Visually, the differences are obvious. Erotic art may include sexual imagery, but its purpose extends beyond arousal, often critiquing social norms or exploring aesthetic and cultural ideas. The key distinction lies in intent. Art is created to convey a message, evoke emotions, or provoke thought, often exploring human experience, culture, or social issues. Pornography, by contrast, is produced primarily for sexual arousal, focusing on explicit sexual acts rather than broader intellectual or emotional engagement. An artist that releases. I am glad there are laws that are protecting me from further attacks on my person online. I did a lot of online research to better understand. There may have been bots tagging me. What I do in the arts community stays in the arts community. I have not ever participated in erotic art shows. I paid the fee to participate. I decided against it for what it really represents. There are a lot of people in the LGBTQ community that enjoy expressing themselves in erotic art. This is their niche, to gain support from patrons in the LGBTQ community, mostly in every city. I appreciate nudity and creative expression in the arts, and I have nothing against it as long as it is in good taste. I had an abundance of fruit, so I decided to go to the closest convenience store to get some whipping cream to have dessert. On my way home, I was walking in a residential area. A huge truck came. I jumped back into the island in the middle of the street. I had stepped forward. I was nearly hit. I could not eat when I got home until the next evening. Luckily, I am strong enough from swim therapy to have been able to jump. I am a tiny bit freaked out from that experience. Today, I am thankful that the adult bots that were tagging my name. This kind of wrongful tagging can impact my community work. First of all, I have done some swimwear with photographers from everywhere in the arts as an art form. I am not in adult entertainment per se. I have exhibited my artworks in different community situations. I have not ever done OnlyFans nor in the adult entertainment industry, mainly men. I do not want to limit the few actual opportunities one have as it is, let alone all of the volunteering I have done and the fundraisers for worthy and humane causes I participated in. I was invited to explore erotic art from an American Arts Association, but I decided to decline for a number of reasons. There is also an erotic show annually in Vancouver, but I also declined. It ties me into the adult entertainment industry being the sex industry, and this is not what I am about as an artist. In art school, I had to draw and paint nude models as an anatomical study. Now every time we humans go on the internet, we are surrounded by AI and AI programs, algorithms, and are targeted by AI in what we consume, how we consume it, and what approach AI is using to fast advance transhumanism. Clearly, the AI agenda is moving faster on to humanity as we know it.